right there. And then that's when we see that he runs to Charlie and such. But let's play that back. Right here. The moment happens. He didn't jump or anything like that. Camera woman jumps. Everybody kind of jumps. Frank even jumped. He just turns around and then he goes right back in the pocket. Did you see that? Look. What is he putting in his pocket? I didn't even notice that. Wait a minute. It's definitely time that we start bringing back some of these conspiracy theories, especially the one when it comes to the microphone on Charlie Kirks' neck, how it possibly exploded, and that's the reason why it projected right into his neck, causing that massive hole, and also the reason why they paved the whole crime scene basically literally the next day when this all happened. Why is this not being questioned anymore?
This may also go some way. If we are running with a theory that his microphone was rigged and exploded, it would actually go a long way to explain why there was a mad dash to dig out the dirt and pave over the scene of the crime.
Right.
Okay. Because there would have been trace chemical particles that would have been in the soil. And there's no way you're going to get rid of that, right? Trace outside of just completely repaving it over and having no access to those trace chemical particles at all. And so I want to show you this clip that went absolutely viral while I was in Russia. The contractor that was unexpectedly brought in to help pave over that scene called over on the weekend. Charlie gets shot on a Wednesday. They want this crime scene paved over on a Sunday. And he's going to explain who he was told made that call. Take a listen.
I get a call, and I don't answer my phones on Sunday. They left a message, and the gentleman said, hey, you know, this is kind of weird. And he was kind of hemming and hawing on the phone.
This was 5 days later then?
Yes,
You said it was on this Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, on Sunday. And he says, we've got a paver emergency. So I texted the guy. I said, look, I don't work on Sundays. My guys don't work on Sundays. You know, I'm happy to call you on Monday. What's a paver emergency? So he sends me pictures of right where Charlie was murdered. And he says, we need to put pavers in this place. So I called him, and the guy seemed like a genuine good dude. He says, you know, look, we don't have a whole lot of answers. We're told by, you know, people above us that we've got to put pavers in, you know, today and tomorrow. Needs to be in by Monday. And we've never done pavers. We've never installed them. And we want to make sure we do it right. And he says, would you come help? I said, 100%. So I went and got I got my trailer. I started calling my guys, and none of my guys answered. And so I started calling my other guys, you know, my brothers. And then I called another, you know, so I put together this ragtag team, you know, of guys that we showed up on that Sunday, you know, within an hour and a half of when they called us with our trailer. And we met with a couple of dudes. I was telling you there, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of information. There was two guys that were kind of in charge. One of the guys was in charge of a state-owned facility in American Fork. And the other guy was in a maintenance groundskeeper on a facility in Provo. And these are the two guys I'm corresponding with. The first guy, you know, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday.
You heard that, right? Let me clarify. The man just said the FBI wanted this done by Monday. The FBI, you know, the people that are supposed to be investigating this crime scene, the ones that are supposed to be finding every detail, every evidence possible to come up with a 100% sure answer on who and why this was done. And they're the ones that said we need this covered up. Literally, when you're paving something, you're covering it up. They wanted this crime scene covered up. Why is that? Why were they hiding that? This is clear as day that they were hiding this. And it was somebody besides Tyler Robinson that wanted this done.
The FBI and the shady governor want this done by Monday. It's a paver emergency. He asks an appropriate question. What is a paver emergency? Like, was there just like a hole in the galaxy that someone's going to fall through? Can't wait till Monday. He's got to get together a ragtag team. No, they want this done. It's coming from higher up. This has to happen. Yeah, that's shady. Literally, they paved over the crime scene. I cannot stress this enough.
This is proof enough for me. I don't know about you, but I know for me, this is proof enough that they were behind Charlie Kirk and his demise. They were the ones that set this up. Not a man named Tyler Robinson or a 18, 19, however old he was. Not a kid by the name of Tyler Robinson who had a distaste for what Charlie Kirk was speaking on. And he was such a leftist that he just had to get rid of Charlie Kirk. I don't believe that one bit, especially when you hear this man say that he got a call from higher ups, and those higher ups had their own higher ups that said this needed to be done by Monday to hide what? Evidence. And she did mention earlier in the show as well how these bomb dogs, they're able to catch a scent for any explosive device or anything that has to do with explosives. They're able to catch the scent even in rain for up to like 20 days or so. So they could have brought out the bomb dogs and those dogs would have found it like that super quick, but they didn't even bother with that.
Why would you have to pave over the crime scene? In fact, Skylar, that other video you had, I don't know if you pulled it in, of that newscaster talking about the pavers being put down. Do you have that handy? I'll give you 10 seconds. Yeah, because I also want to show where they paved over, because that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense where they paved over, unless what they were trying to do was cover up the entire area because they were concerned that trace chemical particles, like I said, that would have remained on the surface of the soil. That's not something you can control if an explosive is used. Then you would have needed to quite literally dig and replace the soil all around to hide that evidence. Here's that video of the newscaster discussing it briefly.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, placing flowers, cards, things like that. And the university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers.
Insane.
And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
Just unbelievable. As another point, obviously, beyond... I can't even believe they're actually trying this. As I review this, it's just crazy that they think we're this stupid.
And Candace even speaks on when she received those photos from when they put Charlie in that vehicle, the moment that this all happened. And there was like glass fragments on the floor. Where were those glass fragments from? Did they fall off his shirt or anything like that? Because if there was explosives and that did pop, then some of those fragments would have been all over his shirt as well. And then you could see that on the floor of the car, which is extremely weird. And then she also mentioned how they sold off the car immediately, cleaned it up, sold it off. Who's the one that bought the vehicle? Can we get that information? Who did they sell it to and why that quickly?
But rather, they contained it, got everything they needed at the hospital, according to Frank Turek, and then said, all right, get rid of this car. Don't let it see the light of day. And I was very lucky to get my hands on these photos, which reveal that there are certainly shards of something on the floor. Okay.
100%.
And we're showing you these photos here. We can keep going. I need to get these photos over to John Bray. Actually, that part, let's just stay here for a second. Just seeing. And this is in the...
Now, this is just me insinuating, maybe not, but what if these are pieces of the Rode microphone that was attached to his shirt as well? Because if so, obviously that thing would have exploded given that they had explosives inside that device. And could these be fragments of that Rode microphone? It's black. Obviously, that's a Rode microphone that would be black. See some pieces here, there, and there. Could that be fragments of that, which would also indicate that the thing did explode? And if it did, how and why?
Back seat. So Charlie gets brought in. We're not talking about the driver's seat. We're talking about the middle, I guess you could say the middle captain chairs behind the driver's seat. Just behind the driver's seat is where Charlie's body was pulled in. Okay. In that captain chair. So you imagine they're pulling his body this way And there's going to be inside, if there was something that exploded, if this theory holds, there's just going to be a ton of glass that they're trying to contain on him until they get into the car. And while they're in the car, they're going to get that glass off of him.
And like I said, either glass or either plastic pieces from the Rode microphone itself. And I want to show you guys this clip as well, because obviously with the whole microphone conspiracy theory, Brian Harpole is involved in that, because a lot of people are saying that he pressed a button that could have possibly detonated the microphone. And as we saw in Candace Owens' previous episode, how these kids from Lebanon, I believe it was, that they press an OK button on a speaker or a walkie-talkie type of device, and then it exploded. So obviously pressing a button would cause it to explode. But check this out and let me know what you guys think about this.
So just wanted to, a few weeks ago, is that good? You want me to just continue? All right. All right, great. All right. A few weeks ago, there was a transgender mass and ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans. Now, I think you're in support of this decision.
Now you can see his body language is kind of weird. And then we're going to look at another angle from this scene as well. But there's a part where when the shot rang, Brian Harpole had no reaction. Now, this is not me saying that he pressed a button or he was the reason why this all happened, even though people are assuming that. But he had no reaction whatsoever. While some people, they kind of like jump, budge when they heard that loud clap. Brian Harpole, nothing. Just standing there. You hear the clack, then he just looks and then runs. No reaction when something loud like that happens, when you would assume that it was a gunshot. Now, I want you to look at people's reaction now that we saw the clack. Look at people's reactions.
In America, over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
See?
In America,
look at people jump.
Years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Now you see people's reaction, they kind of jump because it's like, whoa, what was that? Such a loud noise that sounds like it's whispering past your ear. Now let's look at this angle where he kind of has his arm inside of his armpit, and then his fingers are moving in a specific way the same time that you hear the clack from the gunshot. Now, this could be him just itching his armpit. Possibly, maybe he had an itch he was trying to scratch. It's possible, but the timing is very weird and it's something to look into. Here's another clip that people have been circulating around the internet where it could look like he has some sort of device in his hand that he kind of puts in and out of his pocket, possibly. You can see him kind of pushing down something. And it seems small, obviously, because he's grabbing it with 3 fingers, as it seems. As you can see, something that he pushes down in his pocket. No idea what it is. Doesn't look like a cell phone, that's for sure. And then during the moment, you can see him grabbing it. It's like playing around with it a lot. It's kind of weird. Interesting. Whatever that device is, he's playing with it a lot, moving it in and out of his pocket as if he's ready to use it or something like that, or he's hesitant to use it. What is that? And then when you take a look at this clip here, as I was saying, when he had no reaction while everybody else is jumping in fear for their life because they hear a clack, that's unusual. He does nothing. And I also want to say I apologize for showing this clip. I know we don't want to see this, but I think it's important that this is shown so we can see how people are reacting towards this situation and if we find anything unusual, such as Brian Harpole. right there. And then that's when we see that he runs to Charlie and such. But let's play that back. Right here. The moment happens. He didn't jump or anything like that. Camera woman jumps. Everybody kind of jumps. Frank even jumped. He just turns around and then he goes right back in the pocket. Did you see that? Look. What is he putting in his pocket? I didn't even notice that. Wait a minute. He's putting something back in his pocket. And like we said in the previous clips where he's kind of like itching his armpit. Looks like he's itching his armpit. But then it also looks like he might be pressing something. And in this clip right here, goes back, pocket, and then runs towards Charlie. What is that? Why is this happening? What are you reaching for in that pocket that's so important? You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I think all these conspiracy theories need to be brought back to light so that way we can look into it deeper, because now a lot of things are not making sense, especially with the explosive devices coming out, being circulated, and then the video that Candace Owens showed how they use an explosive device on some heavy glass and then said that the impact was just as a 30-06. That needs to be investigated. Why they paved the whole scene the next day? Like, isn't that a crime scene? Don't you need that for investigations? But you didn't want that, FBI? Why is that? You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out this video right here and let me know what you think about that topic as well. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That's all I got for you guys on this one, and I will catch you guys on the next one.